Alright, we're just getting Aldi's right now and just taking a peek at their sales paper real quick. Just see if anything stands out. Then we're going to take a walk through the store. This is a really nice Aldi's in a really nice ritzy area, so there's no food inside. Doesn't look like there's anything really to brag about here, so we're going to roll with it. Some of you guys have been waiting for me to do this. Well, here we are. Finally. Obviously, none of this stuff is going to be keto at all. On the end caps, I mean, you might be able to fit some of these almonds and things like this, but you have to remember to be very careful with almonds because they catch up to you very quick. And you know, nuts in general, like almonds and certain greens, have a really high oxalates, so they can cause some extra inflammatory reactions in some cases. So nuts can be good, but they also, so this is just all processed crackers and carbs and stuff here. It's not keto. Some of the nuts and stuff here I'm sure can fit. You got a bag of mixed nuts, but not really all that great to begin with. Different wines and things like that. I'm not going to get into what ones are keto friendly and what ones aren't. You're going to have to do that research on your own, because I don't really condone social media or the use of alcohol via social media, so that's something you'll have to figure out. Let's see. Let's look at these here. Oh no thanks. Because I thought these would be good, but they're toasted coconut cookies. But when you turn around and look at the back of it, per serving, you've got 15 grams of carbs per serving. Nope. I mean, the ingredient, no, wheat flour is one of the first ingredients, so no, not gonna work. None of this stuff is going to be keto friendly at all. None of these potato chips, any of that. I mean, some of this beer might be, I don't know much about it, but again, you're gonna have to figure that stuff out on your own. The breads, none of the breads, none of the cakes, none of this stuff is gonna be keto friendly at all. Some people might find a low carb bread or something like that and make an exception for it, and they're doing some kind of dirty style keto, but I don't really promote that. I mean, I might do it from time to time, but I don't really want to tell people to do that. 3 grams of carbs per serving in this chunky salsa. I mean, it can be used because it's, let's see, 2 tablespoons. Well, that's a lot of carbs per 2 tablespoons. I mean, that's not terrible, but so be careful with the salsa. Let's see here. This is an actual healthier salsa here. It's only 2 grams per 2 tablespoons, but it looks like it's a better blend as well. None of this cheese stuff, this quick cheese is really that clean. It's not clean keto. It's kind of highly processed stuff, so be very careful when you do it. This here, snack sticks, be careful because it does have, they're highly processed. It does have carrageenan in it, which is, it's kind of inflammatory. It comes from a seaweed, dextrose, so it does have some sugar to it. But overall, it wouldn't be a terrible thing if you're just looking for something to snack on. So, you know, that'd probably be all right. No preservatives. Let's see, this is artesian jerky. Looks like it's pork. A lot of carbs in this, so I would say I would pass on this. Be very careful with what you get here. Dextrose is one of the first ingredients in it, well, the 4th ingredient in it. So this wouldn't be terrible. It can be done, but these you got to be careful of. Just be careful of jerky in general. I'm not going to go through each one of them because it's not critical to go through each one. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just show you what to look for. Asparagus can be Tomatoes can be, but tomatoes are a nightshade vegetable, can cause extra inflammation in the body and stomach issues. Strawberries in moderation, lemons you can. None of this bread. Oranges, fruits and things like that, no, it's not going to work. Pineapples aren't going to work. Mangoes, cantaloupes aren't going to work. Apples aren't going to work. Any of this green stuff you'd be fine with. Any of it should be fine. You might find in some of these artesian or these Asian chopped salads and stuff like that, they have corn and carrots and things like that. That's not really technically keto. Some people fit that stuff in there, but it's not technically keto. These big giant bags of spinach salad and Caesar salads and stuff like that, all that stuff can be good. I mean, these berries, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, things like that. Mushrooms are a go. You could do all that stuff. Fresh garlic up there in the bags, peeled for you, that's good. Zoodles, zucchini noodles, these are good. The carrots, or squash, this might even be squash, butternut squash. Some people make that stuff fit, but you got to be very careful. A lot of it's got a very high carb count to it. The green onions are good. Grapes are not going to be good. Eggs are good. If you're doing carnivore, you can fit some of the milk, but not for keto. They ain't going to work. Let's see what we got here. Potatoes are a no-go. The peppers you can do, but remember, nightshades can cause extra inflammation. The oranges aren't going to work. Bananas aren't going to work. Any of the milk, the dairy products and stuff, like in here, not necessarily the milk, but the rest of the dairy products and stuff can work. Like the heavy cream can work, but some people don't want the carrageenan because it causes inflammation. Even the Ready Whip in the cans can work as well, but again, they have additives in them typically, sometimes that aren't very friendly. If you look, they got cage-free organic eggs down here, certified humane. It's got the certified humane stamp on it. $3.49 a dozen. Let's see what else we got here. Orange juices, none of that stuff's going to be any good. None of these additives for your coffee, you're not going to be able to do any of that stuff. The cottage cheese, some people fit it on, but it does have a lot of sugar count to it. Yeah, I mean, this Aldi's is in a really, really nice ritzy area. So it's like Romeoville, Illinois, that over the last 18 years, they've been bringing in a lot of big box stores. They've been doing a lot of stuff like that. The whole milk yogurt down there, I've seen some people say that certain Aldi's have the ones that don't have all the additives in it. So just be careful with that. Yogurts can be done, but you want to keep your sugar count as low as possible. Any of the real butter here it's good to go. The Imperial butter is junk. That's like plastic. The Country Crock style stuff down there on the bottom is junk. That's like plastic. I wouldn't feed that to my worst enemy. Anything that says canola oil and stuff, typically I stay away from. They say it's hydrogenated, it's really bad for you, but some people put it in their diet and they're completely fine. Just all depends on what you want, but that's not typically keto. Anything that says vegetable oils on it, like canola, vegetable oil, soy oil, those aren't clean keto products. Some of the whipped stuff has flavoring and stuff in there, so they put extra additives in the cream cheese spread, so be careful with that. The shredded cheese is going to have anti-caking agents, potato starches, tapioca starches, and stuff of that nature to stop it from clumping. Typically, those don't cause problems with people, but you'll have the keto police come after you and tell you that's not a clean keto product. You should be shredding your cheese yourself. You just have to try to figure out exactly what you want. There's a product down here called Vegan Shreds. This cheese right here, it's supposed to have no... I just drink water, tea, coffee. Hot dogs and stuff can be done, but these are a dirty style product for most people. They got the uncured stuff with no nitrates up here. It's got 1 gram of carb per serving, so that is actually pretty clean, that organic brand right there. This is the bacon Bacon overall looks good. I don't even look at the ingredients really in bacon anymore. It's so thin. By the time you cook it, most of the sugar and stuff's already cooked out of it anyway. Water, salt, sodium. So this is another one of those here. This low sodium bacon doesn't have any additives to it at all. It's only the only thing that's used on the low sodium bacon here, and most low sodium bacon for that matter, is the fact that they don't put no sugar or anything in it. It's not preserved a certain way. It's only sodium derivatives are used to preserve it. So just be careful, because all this stuff is going to have some kind of additive in it. But most of it will cook off when you actually cook. So people get all crazy about dextrose and stuff being in your meat products, but most of that, if you actually cook it, you're going to cook it off of there anyway. They only use it in the preserving. So guacamole packs, individual guacamole pouches. This is $3.29 for 6 of them. Seems kind of expensive. Avocados, vinegar, onion. I do fast. I'm about to actually go into a 72-hour fast very soon. I'm thinking maybe next weekend I'm going to go 3 days. Sometimes I'll go 4 or 5 days. It just all depends. I'm a slow loser because of all my digestion issues that I've had in the past. I don't lose like everybody else does. I lose, 10, 15 pounds. I gain 5 back. I lose 8 pounds. I gain 3 back. And it's a slow process for me. All these salamis and stuff they can really be done. It's just they have additives in them: dextrose, lactic acid, ascorbate, garlic, nitrates. So any of this stuff can really be done, but it's considered kind of dirty. So the prosciutto and stuff like this down here, that stuff is fine because it's just pork and salt. So when you get prosciutto, you might find that they don't actually have to put additives in it. It's literally cured with salt. Or capicola might be the same way, but this one has dextrose in it. Sopressata, dextrose in there as well. Again, jamon serrano, dry cured ham. Down here, that stuff is so this just is salt, and this is just salt. But these other ones, they got all additives in there. All this stuff has additives in there. Any of this real cheese would be fine. This would be good to go. I love just grabbing some cheese like this, some really fresh mozzarella cheese, and just eating it right out of the pack. Especially that when it's coated in olive oil or something like that. Oh, so good. Gourmet spread cheese. Probably a ton of additives. Let's find out. Actually, it's not that bad. There's actually not really any bad additives in here. It's got milk and cream, cheddar cheese, microbial enzymes, skim milk, natural cheese, salt, locust bean, guar gum, ascorbic acid. No, this would be fine. So if you got this gourmet spreadable cheese, you would be fine here. There's not really any junk in here. This would be okay. Let's look at this other flavor up here. 2 grams of carbs, and I don't see anything that's bad here. So this brand cheese here seems like it's pretty good from this company. What is this? Happy Farms Preferred. So that seems like it's pretty good cheese. The Havarti cheese is going to be good. Any of this fresh salsa stuff is going to be good. They don't put junk in there. Be careful with the pineapple poblano, like avocado mixtures and stuff. That's not going to be good. Most of these kombucha drinks have some kind of sugar in it, but some of them don't. That would be fine. The Kerrygold cheese is definitely good. If you're going to have some kind of energy drink, you need to look into highball sparkling water energy drinks or things like that. But if you absolutely have to have some kind of flavor like sugary drinks, I would look for a kind that has erythritol in it, not so much sucralose. And I would look for one with a lower caffeine count and not such a high caffeine count like Bang energy drinks. Just too much caffeine at one time, and some people swear by it. They got to have it, and they don't have to have it. It's just an excuse. Any of this processed cheese right here, people stare at me all the time at the store, but I just keep recording. I don't care what they Normally, sometimes they'll follow along and they'll listen to me. They always People look at me all the time. Any of this processed cheese, some people still do it, but it's not necessarily all that great. You know, this is regular sliced cheese here. It's all really, really, really good stuff. All this stuff is fresh sliced hard block cheese. Any of this hard block cheese can be done with no problems at all. You just sometimes have to limit it because eating a lot of hard block cheese can cause you to stall out and then you don't lose weight anymore. And I'm going to be completely vulnerable to you guys right now. I'm going to admit something to you. I have an addiction. Every once in a while, a really, really hard day at the gym, I love to come and grab a package of sliced, processed junk turkey breast like this and just snack on it on the way home. And it makes me feel amazing. And I don't care what's in it, it just makes me feel amazing. I love sliced chicken and turkey breast in the pack, just like this. I've loved it since I was a kid. It's something that's never going to go away. I've always had a taste for it, and I don't care. I just love it. So sometimes I will have that. It does have dextrose in it, but it's very, very small. It's a very, very small amount, and you can eat that whole entire pack. That'd be awesome. Let's do that, Scott. Let's check this smoked uncured ham here and see what's in here. So it's 2 grams of carbs. It's smoked uncured, but it does have dextrose in it. It does have carrageenan in it. And it does have honey in it. So this is not something that I would probably pick up as my first choice. The reason why I went with the turkey is because it doesn't typically have all that stuff in it, even though it does have dextrose sometimes. My favorite packs are these cheap, silly things right here. But except the cleaner version, not like that right there. That stuff down there has got, but that little pack right there has got like 2 carbs in it right out the gate, and it's tiny, tiny, tiny. So that is not going to be that wouldn't be an option for me. Let's check this uncured ham here. Never any pork raised with antibiotics, uncured honey ham. Do they have? Okay, so let's check the chicken breast right here. See what's in here. No hormones, vegetarian diet. So that means that they've probably been feeding grain. Chicken breast, water, sea salt, raw cane sugar, rice starch. Yeah, this is not going to happen. This is supposed to be organic, and it's got some of the most... Yeah, Applegate's a pretty good company overall. I've been talking about them for quite a while now. They're not bad. I get a kick out of that. That guy just grabbed that pack of... Let me show you something real quick. This is... Applegate is pretty clean. I've been talking about them for a while. Let me show you something real quick. Get a kick out of this. So this is supposed to be the non-added, bad or whatever. Look at the ingredients though. Sea salt, raw cane sugar, rice starch, concentrated carrageenan, yeast extract, onion powders, grill flavoring, sunflower oil, natural flavoring, vinegar. So it's got all this stuff in this natural product right here, right? Now let's look over here at this junk product that's supposed to be no good. Turkey breast, white turkey breast, dextrose, salt, modified food starch, carrageenan. It looks almost identical with the different types of ingredients. It looks just as bad. Yeah, so you have to be careful with what you pick when it comes to meatless vegan hot dogs. Oh yes, something I've wanted my whole life. Meatless vegan hot dogs. Oh yes, this looks so good. Look how good this looks. Water, soy, soybean oil, evaporated cane sugar, pea protein, tapioca starch, potassium chloride, baker's yeast, carrageenan, dried garlic. Oh man, it contains soy, xanthan gum, rice flour, guar gum. This looks so good. Most of this stuff's got a lot of additives and stuff in it, so you got to be careful with these cocktail sausages and things like that. Let's look at this one big giant thing of deli. So, roast beef, caramel colored solution, garlic granulated. So this doesn't have anything in it actually. Roast beef, caramel coloring, solution: salt, sodium phosphate, granulated garlic, potassium acetate. So these right here actually don't have no sugars at all in them. Let's see if this one does the same thing. Dextrose, food starch. Okay, so these do have all that stuff in there. I guess you just gotta pick and choose your battles, right? Rotisserie season. It's another one that has all that stuff in there again. Okay, you can't really find anything with all the additives anymore. Obviously, all these pizzas, unless they're cauliflower crust, are not gonna work, and they don't have sugar added to them, but they sure do freaking look good, and they're so cheap, which is amazing. But on a standard American diet, or on the Weight Watchers eat whatever you want diet. So modified food starch, yeast extract, sodium acetate, yeast, and sodium nitrate. So not terrible, but it does have a long list of ingredients when I could just go cook some fresh turkey and chop it up myself. The sparkling water would be all right if it's just sparkling water made with natural flavoring. So this was probably fine if you wanted to get this sparkling water. You're no big deal. Yeah, just carbonated water. I'm only considering eating some pickles and a little bit of diced onions right now on my burgers from McDonald's whenever I just get the burger patties, but I really don't even like anything keto anymore, to be honest with you. I try not to eat any vegetables at all, so I go for long periods with no vegetables, period. What the heck is this? Mild cheese with sage. So it's sage that's been it's imported from England, and it's sage inside the cheese. Pastured cow, smoked salt starters, dried sage leaves. So any of the real cheese here is going to be fine as well. There's aged Havarti. This is cheddar. There's Gouda. Obviously, staying clear of all the other stuff. Some of the seafood might be all right. What is this? This is wild herring and wine sauce. Yeah, all guar gum is just a thickening agent. It's not bad at all. So I got to try to find something that I'm going to feed the dog tonight. I got to get her something bony. She really loves chomping down on chicken bones, though. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see here. They don't have any of that organic chicken, the stuff for the dogs. Yeah, I need a small pack. I don't need anything very big. $7.29 for wings. Oh, but those suckers are huge. Never mind. Those things are massive. Oh, I'll get this cheap pack right here. She don't. So the chicken and stuff can be done. I mean, obviously, any kind of meat from over here. Be careful with the flavoring stuff because they can hide stuff in there, different types of sugars and things. Ribeye is $9.49 a pound, and that's that Angus, the Angus ribeye. So you got, I don't like buying anything that's It's not on sale because I'm a cheap bastard when it comes to that. So it's got to be on sale or I ain't buying it unless it's a special occasion. Any of this stuff is good. Any of this, just make sure there's no junk additives. Let's see, check out these beer brats. Well, be careful of the additives. Any of this stuff has got junk in it now. None of these juices. You might be able to get by with some of this water. What is this water called? Vi? Flavored sparkling water with other natural flavors. So that might be alright. Any of these, none of these juices. You can't buy a juice that's on the market right now that's good. So stay away from all of that. Any of the frozen meat should be fine. Some of it may have fillers in it. Don't get anything with breading. Don't get anything just covered in some kind of sugary sauce. Any of the buffalo wings and stuff like that, if they're breaded, they're not going to be okay. And mussels are good. Crab's good. Pink salmon fillet is good. Shrimp, definitely a go. Don't get any kind of mixed shrimps or breaded shrimps. It's got a ton of like carbs and sugars and stuff in it. Any of the frozen vegetables, Brussels sprouts a go. That's all good. Corn is not gonna go. The mixed medley stuff that's got corn and peas and stuff in it is not gonna work. Spinach and stuff is good. Don't get any of that quinoa junk up there. You'll be shitting quinoa for a week. The meatballs, the packaged meatballs and stuff like that, you gotta be careful because they put a lot of sugar and stuff in them. And if you're a vegan and you like the soy burgers, have at it. But I ain't eating that junk. Any of this earth-grown vegan meals. Any of these pizza pockets and stuff. None of these pizzas are gonna work. All of them are no-goes. Most of the medleys, even if they do have a little bit of carrot or something in it, or corn kernel, some people make an exception. Not really supposed to have it, but kind of figure out what you want to do. Any of the breaded corn dogs and things of that nature is not going to happen. None of that stuff's any good. None of the burritos, no go. Any of the pre-mixed meals and stuff like that, no go. None of the breakfast stuff is going to work unless it's the sausage, but then you still got sugars and stuff in the sausage. So just pick and choose what you do. I know some people have them anyway and they're successful. Let's look at this low-fat ice cream up here. Let's see what we got to work with here. Carbs, no go. One serving is 13 grams and one container is like 54. Pass on that. Any of the frozen berries can be done in moderation. None of the juices, none of the peaches, none of these ice cream bars. None of this stuff is gonna work. None of it. Zero, nada, zilch. No good. Most of these hams, if they're uncured or even if they are cured, you can slice them to where the sugar and carb count is not going to be super impactful on your blood glucose in general. This stuff is not going to work. Shrimp taco mix. Let's see what that is. It actually looks kind of interesting. Wild caught. So overall, this doesn't look bad actually. If you wanted to get one of these, as long as you're not. So we have some peppers and onions, spices, and this has beans and spices, so be careful of the beans. You don't want to get the ones with the beans and the corn. You want to get the one right here that says peppers, onions, and spices. This would work, but again, remember, peppers are part of the nightshade vegetables. And that would cost $4.79 for that pack, which would get you almost no. That's like a teaser. That's an appetizer for like a 5-year-old. So be careful with that. None of this stuff is going to work. Well, veggie eggplant fries, it's probably not going to work because I think they're breaded. Yeah, that's not going to work. 20 grams of carbs per serving. No good. Any of those ramen noodles and stuff like that up there. The canned tuna will work. You see canned tuna up here. So the breaded dry rub wings, let's see here. Nashville dry rub chicken wings. It's the carb count's lower than what I thought, but none of that's gonna work.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It's me buying too much again. Always, same shit.
None of the sushi stuff.
I just like spinach stuff.
None of this stuff is gonna work in here either. No good, no good. Okay, this can work. Yeah. Well, I use my phone cost me $1,100 and it was an S9 and I'm paying on it. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm filming with this phone. I'm gonna make it earn every bit of its keep. And the video quality for an S9 compared to like the old S8 and S7 is substantially better. I mean, they even advertise that this is what this phone is kind of made for. And I've been doing some of my editing and stuff. That new video I did about Weight Watchers, where I edited myself in the middle of it in different segments, was all done right from my phone. And people were like, no way. And I'm like, yeah, I've been doing that more from my phone. So any of this tuna can be done. But remember, when you get chunk-like tuna in oil, your omega-6 count comes up and the omega-3 count goes down. So you're throwing your omega ratios off whenever you buy tuna in oil. So I don't like to buy tuna in oil in general because oil typically has a higher omega-6 count, where if you get chunk-like tuna in water, your omega-3 is not so much washed out with so much omega-6. So try to get the tuna in water if you get it. Some of this Gatorade stuff, Gatorade Zero and stuff, people make an exception for, but there's not really that many electrolytes in this stuff anyway. When you actually break it down, you're not really getting any electrolytes at all. This artesian water, of course, any of the fruit juices are not going to be a go. If you want to eat toilet paper, that's a go if you want to. I'm pretty sure it's low carb. I'm just kidding. Garlic bread's not going to work. Any of these organic pizzas are not going to work. Let's see, thin crust. Well, honestly, Cindy, I could tell you right now, since I've been walking through Aldi and since it was a recommendation from like a couple people, Sarah from my keto group, she's one of them. She said, please go do a review on Aldi because I shop there a lot. I'm not finding a lot of stuff here that's actually keto friendly, to be honest with you. If you were like on a really super strict keto diet and you were trying to find a place that was like really, really heavily keto friendly, I wouldn't rate this as one of the top stores, to be honest with you. You can come here to get meat and veggies and that's pretty much it, but most of the other products are not keto friendly. Yeah, that's why I'm saying you gotta focus on buying whole foods anyway. So I agree there. Oh man, they always have like really cool stuff in the middle of Aldi's for some reason. I always love coming here because I find some kind of tool or some kind of chair that I want or something. I always find something. And you know, like this griddle thing here, the Belgian waffle thing here, I just paid $35 for one of them at Walmart. I come here, the same one, the same size, but just a different name or a label to it, and it's $15 cheaper. I've got a lot of my actual dishes from here that cost twice as much somewhere else. So like this here, this Crofton 5-quart colander, the same one is like $17 or whatever at Walmart. It's so much cheaper here. It's really cool. Paper shredder. I'm trying to figure out if there's any of this stuff is keto friendly, like you would use to cook or something like that. What is this? Stainless steel travel mug. These are pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty cool, actually. Nice cutting board. $4.99 for it. None of this stuff is going to be keto friendly at all. Roasted pistachios. Nah, I wouldn't do any of this. None of this V8, none of these salad mixes. What is this? This is extra virgin olive oil. Well, let's figure out how clean this olive oil is. First of all, I'm looking at it and I like a really dark olive oil. And then when I look at the origin from where it's coming from, product of Italy, distributed in Batavia, Illinois. It says it's got a harvest date, best by April 30th, 2020. Sicilian. So this would be a decent, actually. It doesn't have a country code of like 4 or 5 different other areas where they're getting their olive oil. This is like from the same, you know, product of Italy, distributed by Aldi, Batavia, Illinois. Harvest date. So I'm not seeing multiple countries of origin like I see on some olive oils. This would be a decent olive oil, I think. It looks to be decent. But I don't know enough about the Aldi stuff because on the bottom it has like the Aldi stamp on it. None of this stuff is going to work. Let's see, what is this? Drink simple maple water? Who in the heck drinks maple water? Paleo, vegan friendly. More manganese than a cup of kale. Nine carbs, 8 sugar. So 8 of that 9 carbs is sugar. It's got 37 milligrams of calcium. It's got 0.9 milligrams of manganese, 35 milligrams. Oh, this is terrible. It doesn't even really have that many minerals in it at all, and it's got 9 grams of carbs per serving, and it's 1 per container. I guess if you were in a pinch and all you had was this to drink, this wouldn't be bad, but not 9 carbs. I wouldn't spend my carbs on that. None of this junk is going to be any, none of this. Well, the Tom Yum broth, what is it? Actually, let's look here. 3 grams of carbs per 4, so 1 cup. It's got broth, sugar, ginger, so it does have sugar in it. So they do put sugar in here. That would be a no for me. I would have to find some regular broth that doesn't have all that. Maple bacon coffee. Look at this. Maple bacon coffee. Oh man, smell the top of this thing and it smells like maple straight out of it. It smells like maple bacon. It's exactly what it says. Infused with the irresistible smokiness of bacon, the flavor is rounded out by a delicious sweet finish of maple and caramelized sugar, and it smells exactly as it says on the package. Oh man, that's heavenly. That is heavenly. Okay, none of the cereal is going to be any good at all. This is all junk. Junk. Pretzel granola junk. Any of this stuff is just junk. Protein pancake waffle mix. Really? Is this what we're promoting now? We got a protein mix. Ooh, 37 grams of carbs right off the bat. I'm going to put that baby right back down. 37 grams of carbs, 19 grams of protein, 16 grams of protein from milk, 14 grams of protein, just add water, plus 16 grams of protein, just add milk, plus 19 grams of protein, just add milk, and 1 egg. So they're adding all that stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Ha, I did good. I just bought a dog bed when I was at Petco just now because the dog's having some hip problems, and it was only 20 bucks. Here it's $30. I'm glad I didn't buy it here. Let's see here. Okay, let's see what we got over here. See if anything's changed lately. This, not going to be good. Not going to be good. See what this is here. Chocolate mint, 6 bars, $5.99, 31 grams of carbohydrate. No. Let's see here. Peppermint stick. No, none of these are going to be any good. None of this. This is all junk. $21 grams of carbs, 4 fiber. Nope. 9 grams of sugar. Nope, that's not any good either. Two grams of net carbs. 19 grams of carbs, 11 grams of sugar alcohol. What sugar alcohol is it? Maltitol. These are a no-go, absolutely. If you want to be shitting yourself like I was the other night when I tried just 1/2 of a handful of sugar-free jelly beans just to see what happened to my blood sugar. My blood sugar didn't really shoot up all that much, but I was on the toilet for almost 12 hours. No, and I had half the serving, and it was maltitol. Pass on all that. No. No bueno. You like dog food, you might get some full of grain. I'm sure they got some grain-free stuff around here, but I don't even buy dog food from places anymore. I feed my dog raw stuff. So let's go down this aisle now. Most of the seasonings you can do, you just got to make sure your vanilla extract is like an alcohol-based vanilla extract, and it doesn't say that it's been preserved with propylene glycol, the same stuff that they find in antifreeze. None of these bars are going to be any good. These are all terrible. No good. None of this oats. None of these cereals. None of the cake mixes and stuff. Which one are you trying to find? Which one are you trying to find?
This one, actually, I'm looking at that one, that it is for salad dressing also.
Let me see. I do a lot of videos on this stuff. That's why I walk and I teach people about this. Merit. Oh, so it says salad dressing right there.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I look about whenever I look at it is I try to find, whenever I'm looking at it, I try to ingredients, toasted sesame oil. So it's clean. It's very clean. There's not a lot of junk in there. So I like that one.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I'll come and I'll pull like oil off of the shelf, and I'll see sometimes when I flip it around on the bottom right here, it might have like 5 different codes to it. It might say JE or maybe IT for Italy. And some of these oils I'm looking and I say, how can you get 5 different sources of oil for one bottle? How can that be clean?
Yeah.
I want one source from, Italy or India or China or wherever it's from. I don't want 5 different sources of oil in one bottle. And a lot of people, they don't pay attention to that. But you look like you have one ingredient and it's one source. So it looks good to me.
It looks good, huh?
Yeah, it looks good.
This is the Carol. This is a familiar company. This one, Carolini.
I have this is like an Aldi's brand. I've never heard that company outside of here.
Okay.
But it looks like a clean product. It looks clean. I mean, I would try it. Another thing is these grapeseed oils and stuff like this. Anytime you're getting seed oils can be very, very inflammatory. So you have to be careful. Some people do consume grapeseed oil. I've seen them do it in their videos and stuff like that. But it's not something that I typically want to get involved with. I tried doing that before, and then I started reading on how they actually separate seed oils or get the oil out of the seed. So I'm like, I'm kind of on the fence about that. Some people do like it. I'm not a big fan of it. 100% pure avocado oil. See where it's sourced from. Product of Mexico and Spain. So we only have 2 sources here instead of 1. 2 wouldn't be bad. I would probably use this product and not think twice about it. But I don't think anybody should be cooking with. You don't cook with avocado oil and you don't cook with olive oil. You do not cook with them. I'm a firm believer that after reading the science and stuff on it and looking at chains of saturated fat, one chain of saturated fat is super strong and it doesn't flex under heat, and it can withstand a lot higher temperatures. When we're talking about the smoke point of an oil, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the smoke point of what it's safe to cook at. So avocado oil and olive oils, I do not cook with them. I only cook with saturated fats because they are the strongest under heat. So I will not cook with avocado oil or olive oil anymore. It has to be a saturated fat for me to cook with it, because this is already scientifically proven amongst the whole spectrum, not just with keto people, or or carnivore people or something like that. This is across the spectrum. People do agree a saturated fat is a better better oil to cook in, because it's a lot stronger under heat. It doesn't have any double carbon bonds. So this comes from Sri Lanka, Philippines, India, or Vietnam. So you don't know where this is coming from. You just know it's coming from one of those sources. This is unrefined organic virgin coconut oil. So this would be okay. I just don't like the fact that they give you 4 different sources of where it can come from. Ghee, lactose, casein, and gluten, sodium free. I don't want them to take the sodium out of it. This is a clean product. So I would say the ghee, the avocado oil, the coconut oil, Sicilian extra virgin olive oil. It's got a harvest date, packed in Bordia. See, here's that one where I'm talking about. It's got multiple sources of where it's packed, where it's packed in Bordia, Sacia AG, Sicily, Italy. So this would be okay too. There's not that much. Some of these oils you'll see down there at the bottom, they've got like 4 or 5 different countries of where the oil has come from and where it's been blended. I won't buy that stuff. So it looks like most of the oils here are good to go. They're safe. None of the sprays I will use. I won't use any of the olive oil sprays or any of the avocado oil sprays, because if you're using avocado oil and olive oil the right way anyway, you're using it as additives. You're not using it as things to cook with. None of these cake mixes are good. You can do some of the almond slivers and walnuts and things like that down there, but I would not necessarily be using them all the time. None of this stuff is going to be good. You might be able to get some of the guar gum and baking powder and stuff here to use in your cooking, but outside of that, none of that's any good. The coffee and tea and stuff here can be good. Here's an energy drink for you. Let's see what they have to say here. Let's see what this says. Energy drink, low calorie, 45 calories, 12 grams of carbs. Yeah. Sucralose, acesulfame potassium. So these are not that great. This is full-blown sugar right here, 70 grams. So no, that's not good. Here's a sugar-free, low-calorie. It's called what is this called? Redline, or not Redline? It's just called Red energy drink. So it's only got 80 milligrams of caffeine per can, which is not a lot, and it's those junk artificial sweeteners again. So not that great, to be honest with you. So any of the sardines can work. The chunk light tuna, as long as there's no additives and stuff in there. Smoked oysters will work. Tuna down there, chicken, canned tuna, stuff like that, salmon. I've seen some people do the Vienna sausages and stuff. They're highly processed and they do have a lot of junk in them. But I've seen people do that and get by with it and do completely fine. It just all depends on what you want to do. None of these soups are going to work. The stock, probably you can get by with the stock. Bone broth, chicken Swanson down there. Any of this, the broth stuff you can use in a lot of your cooking. You cook off most of the carbs in that anyway. Canned veggies, you can use all that stuff, but a lot of people are very particular on what they do because they don't know what's been put in there. I'm sure it's got maltodextrin in it probably. Okay, it's got dextrose in this and maltodextrin. So, you know, probably not a big deal if you're just doing it every once in a while, but I wouldn't be consuming them on clean keto. Those aren't clean keto. The original, okay, this doesn't have any junk in it. So you're good here. Parmesan cheese, you could do that. None of these potato chips are going to be anything keto friendly. None of the cheese curls are. None of the Pringles. None of that stuff. None of the kettle chips. Not the Doritos. None of these tortillas are going to be. Some people find low carb tortillas and make an exception for it, but they're not really clean keto. They just make it fit their system. And if you guys are ever going to use a low carb tortilla, don't go over here and follow everybody else and get these tortillas like this. I mean, go try the flax ones from Joseph's Kitchen or something like that they have at Walmart. I think they're like literally like 3 to 4 grams of net per serving, and they're made from a like a flax or something like that. Where these low carb tortillas that they sell in these here, they got tons of other junk in there. That Joseph stuff, I think it's some kind of halal brand or something like that. They don't put all that junk in there that these other brands do. So if you're going to use a low carb tortilla, go get the Joseph flat wraps, but they're still not considered clean keto. Oh, down there. There's tomato sauces and stuff like that you can do. There's coconut water and stuff down there, but it has a lot of carbs and sugar in it. None of this. None of these jelly snacks. None of the cupcakes. None of this stuff is any good. The apple butter, you might be able to do something with the peanut butter, but they have better options than the peanut butter here, because the peanut butter here does have some kind of carb count to it. The ketchup has a lot of sugar. Even the sugar-free stuff has got like some sugar, but it's not as bad as the full. Now, a lot of people do the Hellmann's mayonnaise or the real mayonnaise, and they get by, but it does have canola oil and soy oil and stuff like that in it, so you got to pick and choose what you want to do. Is it going to be super impactful as soon as you do it, or if you use it every once in a while? No, it'll be fine, but a lot of people still do it anyway. Any of the pickles will be fine as long as they're not sweet. Okay, I mean, that was a complete walkthrough here at the store, so we're done here. That's Aldi's in a nutshell, guys. This is the baby aisle. We don't really need to get through all this. That's it. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. That was just a walkthrough. These take time. I have a whole series where it's called Keto or Not, and this video will be linked in the playlist. So please, if you think anybody can benefit from these videos where I take the time to do this, please share it to people or whatever. Don't forget, I mean, I know a lot of you really do support me and stuff like that, but a lot of people say they thumb up the video to help it spread. But then I'll go back a couple hours later after it's been processed and opened up, and I may have had 15 to 30 people on one time watching me, and I've got 3 thumbs up. You know, that stuff does matter. Leaving comments and stuff does matter. Hitting the thumb up button does matter. Sharing the video and stuff does matter. It's how my content starts to spread. And if you care about it at all, please make sure you do that on the way out, or you do it when you first come in.